Welcome everyone to day 49 of my 100-day project. It is the second to last day that I'll be doing oil pastel. I cannot believe tomorrow is day 50. I'm just blown away at how fast this has gone. And at the end of each 10-day period that I do a medium, I feel bummed because I kind of get my groove going with that medium. And I have to say, with oil pastel, I love the way the mark making feels in my hand. When I hold the oil pastel, it feels more expressive than a paintbrush in a lot of ways. And it doesn't feel like drawing quite so much, although it is, but I don't know. There's just something about holding them and using them just so freely that I really, really love. I feel like over these last 10 days of oil pastel, I kind of let go. I kind of just embraced more of the mark making. I really got into creating these panels or these mat boards that have that really textured background. And I was super into it. So today's, for example, this is a background that I had prepped a few days ago. And I'm using something different. I'm using Golden's pastel ground, which I haven't used before. And I did the same process where I laid it down really thickly with the stir stick. And then I dropped in some Flame Orange Daler Rowney acrylic ink. And then I mixed it on the surface. And it's pretty thick. So when I looked at it today, I immediately saw this figure with her hair kind of flowing up like either she's falling or she's in water. And I prepped these, I want to say 3 or 4 days ago. But yeah, I just kind of did the last ones that I would need to do for oil pastel all at the same time. And I have to say, I really enjoyed the golden pastel ground. It was maybe slightly, just like the teeniest, slightly bit smoother than the Color Fix, but both really, really good. And I really enjoyed it. Dried very clear, even though it looks really kind of gray and whitish when you're using it, but it did dry pretty clear. So you can really see all that orange coming through, which is great. So there is a ton of texture on here. And that is really what led me to the shape of this figure and the shape of her face. It was already there. I'm just kind of adding in the color to bring it out. And I really like yellow and blue together. So I thought I would do, maybe she's in water. And so I like the idea of the water, the light coming through and hitting her, and it being dark in part of her arms and part of her hair and her body, but kind of yellow as she's falling. The other thing is I watched the Artemis landing yesterday, the splashdown. Totally obsessed, as I've mentioned before. But when I was watching what I can only imagine they went through on that descent and coming into the atmosphere and then landing in the ocean and having to bob around there for like 40 minutes, I just thought, oh my goodness, if that were me, that would have been torture. Just torture. I can't imagine what that must have been like for them. So maybe that influenced this a little bit, just the expression on her face, like, oh my goodness, this is just way too much. So who knows? This is the thing I really love about these sort of intuitive paintings where I just go with what I see. There's always a story there, and the story is often what you make it. So I'd love to hear what you think the story is with this one as well. Why does it look like she doesn't have clothes on one arm, but the other arm she does? I don't know. Is that her skin? Is it her clothes? I don't know. Why are her eyes closed? I don't know. Like, whatever you see, is the story that you make. But yeah, so she was really fun. I don't love the shape of her mouth. When I first started, I did like the shape of her mouth. And then when I added lips around it, it changed the shape and I didn't like it. And I tried to fix it a little bit, but there's so much pastel in that area now that it was just starting to get muddy, and I was just basically pushing the oil around. So I was like, okay, I'll do what I can and then just leave it. It is what it is. I could probably use a skewer and scratch into it a little bit. You can scrape off the oil pastel if you take a palette knife. You can kind of scrape some of it off. In a painting this small, this is 5x7, so it would be really challenging to try and get enough off in that small of an area where I could really start to layer again. But with these, I'm not really worried about it. I'm kind of just going with what's there. And if her mouth is a little weird and funky, her mouth is a little weird and funky. That's part of the story. So at this stage in the painting, I am just looking at values. What darks need to be darker, what lights need to be lighter. And then I take my color shaper and I start to blend some of the places where there might be just a little bit too much texture. There is a ton of texture in her hair, and I'd really like more attention to be on her face. So smoothing out some of the texture in there is going to help bring the eye into where there's more texture, which is on her face. So I'm going through and doing that, kind of adding in the shadows. If the light's coming from above, kind of putting that in there. And I'm digging her. She's kind of like WTF. I don't know. I don't know with her funky mouth. But yeah, it was fun. I really didn't think much today. I taught today. So I was kind of tired, and I just kind of came to the surface and just went with it. And that's what I love about these pieces. They're just so free. So I hope you're doing something that you love this weekend, and stay tuned for day 50 tomorrow. Oh my goodness. I hope you're doing well. Take care of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.